The reverse offering really started as an idea of how do we get more people engaged in missions. We have projects like the Brown Bag Project and Carpenter's Hands, but we wanted to get more people involved, hands-on, in making a difference in the world. So Warren Nash, our executive pastor, had this idea he had heard from another church of a reverse offering where people would receive money in worship, in envelopes, and take that out into the world, into businesses, into the street corners, into mission agencies, and give a donation just to see how far and wide this reverse offering could make an impact and a dent in the issues in the city. So we decided to go ahead with a $10 envelope for all families, that every family would pick up one envelope that would have $10 in it. And we surprised them by saying, you know, we're going to give you an envelope this morning. We want every family to get one of these. And we want you today, this week, to take whatever amount you receive and to go out and make a difference. We didn't put any stipulations on that. We didn't say who you could help and how. We just said, go make a difference with this. And people did. We heard of some children who took their $1, they piled them together to bank $3 or $4 or $5, and they went and bought lemonade mix and set up a shop here around in Mountain Brook in the area around the church. And they sold lemonade, and they made $127 in one day just selling lemonade, and they donated all of that money to Children's Hospital, to children in need. We heard of people giving money to a lot of different places. One of the things that we required or asked for people to do once they received the offering was there was a card in the envelope which we asked them to fill out and to mail back or bring back or even email the stories back to us, because we wanted to be able to share and celebrate those instances with the rest of the church. And people have sent in cards of amazing things they've done.
I gave $10 to a man who is confined to a wheelchair with a severe case of cerebral palsy. He sits at a shopping center and solicits donations from passers-by.
I shared God's money with a single woman who works hard to make a home for her 2 children. She is also trying to gain custody of her sister's 2 children. She is very deserving.
As I was leaving Starbucks at Eastwood with my $3.50 cup of coffee, I saw a woman trying to push a grocery cart through the parking lot. It was stuck, so I got out to help her. We pushed and pulled and finally got it moving. It was cold and the cart was heavy, but she was all smiles and kept thanking me. She said she just needed to get to the bus stop. I gave her the $10, a hug, and thanked her for inspiring me. No way will I complain about grocery shopping and loading my warm car again.
I gave my $10 to Michael on the way to the swimming pool. He said, "God bless you." That inspired the person behind me, and she gave him money too. He told me to study hard because it's hard living out here.
A man has worked with me for several years and had his hours cut back to a very few. He came by the job and I gave him the love gift and he cried. He was so thankful.
We gave crayons to Crayons for Kids at Children's Hospital. Thank you!
I purchased cards for friends to send with a few words of how important they are to me.
I put the money with some of my own money and sent it to Amcor Sudan Food Project through Canterbury.
My friend and colleague has been going through a truly rough time financially and with her marriage. I sat down with her the very next day and shared the money and the promise to pray. She cried. She was so thankful and overwhelmed. In a note of thanks, she wrote that she is now more aware of how God uses all of His people to answer the needs of His beloved. I was glad to be a part of it.
I presented Christ's gift through Canterbury to a gentleman who has spent his life sharing with others and always has a good word for everyone. His response was praise God and thanks to Canterbury. His expression, priceless.
With the $10 from the church, we added 10 more to get a gift card for a handicapped friend in Vesper who cannot ever get ahead. P.S. We delivered an envelope to a family who missed church today, too. Fun.
I took a drug-addicted friend to lunch. He recently lost 15 pounds. I paid for his lunch and helped him make goals for 3 and 6 months. I added him to my prayer list.
I gave $10 to a family member who was laid off from his work after an on-the-job injury without workman's compensation. He has numerous medical expenses and is 7 months behind on his rent. I told him it was from Canterbury and to use it wisely.
I donated my $10 to the Wounded Soldier Fund to support our soldiers who are fighting for our freedom.
I bought school supplies for a student in my class. He has not had paper, pencils, crayons, or folders since school began. He has borrowed pencils every day. He lost homework because he didn't have a folder. Today he does. He is happy.
Yes, this has been the toughest year I have ever experienced, financially and emotionally. I've had to carry so much on my back, and yet I feel as though most days I've carried it pretty well. Breakdown moments have occurred. I would be lying if I said they didn't. Again, I say thank you from the bottom of my heart. It means the world to me to at least be able to give my daughter some small items for Christmas. It's hard enough dealing with all the stress, but to throw the holidays in the middle of it makes it that much harder. So thank you very much for the gift card. You really have no idea how much I appreciate it.
Jesus said to us that we should love God, but just as much, we're supposed to love our neighbor. So I think people hopefully got the sense that there is more to being a Christian than just showing up on a Sunday morning. That being a Christian happens from the moment they step outside of the doors, from the morning that they get up and they go to work, as they're passing by people, as they know people who are hurting around them, that being a Christian means that they need to be engaged in helping and healing and making a difference.